Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder, and what that means is that it's a brain-based disorder. Children are born with autism. The main areas that are affected in autism are social skills and social development, and also there is the presence of what we call restricted or repetitive behaviours.
It all began for me with the counsellor at Ben's school, who rang up at the end of a 10-week session and said, "I'm just finishing up, and by the way, I think he has Asperger's. Did I mention that to you?" And I went, "No." And she went, "Well, I think he does. I think you better get him assessed. Bye-bye." Put the phone down. I didn't know where to go, to be honest.
We try and explain it using the concept of a spectrum. And the spectrum is a range of abilities and disabilities. So on the mild end of the spectrum, it's more about abilities and mixed with some difficulties. And on the more severe end, it's more focusing on the difficulties and what we can do to try and support some of those.
Ben is what would now be called high functioning, was called Asperger's, it's now high functioning autism. The areas that he falls down in is comprehension. He can read a story, but he might not necessarily grasp the message in the story. Nathan, with the autism, it's lower functioning, so he doesn't have the ability to regulate his temper. He doesn't recognise it, but it wasn't until we had the assessment done that everything sort of fell into place and it made more sense.
Some behaviours are more obviously challenging, and that might be individuals who might hit or kick or spit. They might injure themselves in some way by biting or banging their head. But there are also a range of other behaviours which might include not engaging in activities, refusing to do certain things. We try and help people make sense of these, and I guess every behaviour, there's a reason for it and a purpose behind it. And what we have to do is try and look at the whole person.
I hope that wherever they go in life, that they're accepted for the people that they are. Not for any labels or anything like that, but just for the people that they are. I hope that they're able to do all the things that anybody else is able to do. They're able to hold down a job, hold meaningful relationships, have their own children, do all those things. But I think the most important thing for me is that they're given the opportunity to reach their fullest potential, just like any other child.
Back in 2013, a colleague of ours sent us an email, and the email was for this program in America called Sensitive Santa. Sensitive Santa had run for the first time in 2012, and myself from Banyule and a colleague of mine from Nillumbik, Amber, saw Sensitive Santa and just thought, how can we make this happen in our community?
It's just such a beautiful project to be involved in. It really attracts the right people straight off the bat. So I think that's half the job done. And then once people see the project in action and also experience, especially for volunteers, a real part of it. I mean, there's such an integral part of the project's success that without them, I guess, you know, it wouldn't have the same benefits. It's not just about the children and the families, you know. We really did have a focus on the volunteer experience from the get-go. And you can see now we've got the same volunteers from the pilot still coming through today, so that's really exciting. Obviously, we had to get a lot of expertise because Sherry, Siona and I had some, but not a lot. So, you know, connecting with Amaze and a local special developmental school at Diamond Valley, who were able to not only train the volunteers and help us create the right space and, you know, really educate us was crucial. And then we had to look at some community organisations that we thought would be able to continue with some funding. So we had the Eltham Rotary Club, which put their hand up straight away. And it wasn't just about giving us some money, it was about feeding back and going back and speaking to the club members, and really, so it gave us an opportunity to educate them as well. And that's an ongoing partnership, which is very exciting. And then that led to another one with the Diamond Valley Miniature Railway, who were very generous in providing some more funds. So really, you know, people have put their hand up, and it hasn't taken a lot. It's just a bit of coordination and communication, and people are really willing to get involved.
Nillumbik Council and Banyule Council as well have contributed financially, and we also have all the partners that have donated their times, the volunteers, the photographers, Diamond Valley Photography Society, you know, everybody's donating their time to make this program work.
I said to them, if you were to close your eyes and imagine yourself in a busy shopping centre with all of the lights, all of the sound, all of the noise, and then have to stand in a queue with a bunch of other people, have to wait for sometimes up to an hour to sit with a stranger to get a photo taken. It is such an overwhelming experience. And there are, for children on the spectrum, there are things that are going on that we can't even see or identify. So with Sensitive Santa, the key is to eliminate any potential sensory overload or sensory stimulating things. For example, with our volunteers, we tell them to make sure they're not wearing any perfume or fragrances on the day, things like that. There's no music playing, the lights are quite steady and quite low. It's really about controlling as much as you possibly can to make it as calm, as relaxing and as neutral a space as possible. So there's absolute comfort in that space.
There's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes for the Sensitive Santa team. Beryl, Helen and myself have taken the project on and made it our own. So we've been very privileged to have the guidance of Sheridan and Amber and how they set the program up, and then we've adapted it to suit our library and our environment. A lot goes into the visits. It's an initial contact and getting a booking. It's a 20-minute phone interview with the parents, finding out about the child's needs, interests, what they don't like. They might not like loud sounds, they might have a phobia of balloons, you know, it could be anything. They might not like flashes. So we actually summarise all of those issues in a little cheat sheet for all our photographers, all our Santas, all our elves. Everybody knows what that child and what that family like, don't like, and so then it's really tailored to that family. Often the child comes in absolutely terrified, and because Santa's just really easygoing and has a chat to them about their interests, then it just blossoms and they tend to relax, and then that's when the real magic happens.
Having Sensitive Santa at the library is perfect because so many children on the spectrum, they don't like sport. They can't cope with those big crowds, and a library traditionally is quieter. We are able to offer so many things that children on the spectrum love. The computers, we have Lego clubs, we have Minecraft clubs, we have the books, we've got the factual books that they love. And by them coming in here for Sensitive Santa, they develop that relationship with the library. Libraries are not just about books, we are about being a community centre these days.
Well, in a way, it's not just about William or the ASD child, it's also about the family, because in a sense in that early years it actually became a challenge for us and we became apprehensive about doing it. We avoided it. It wasn't just him. And what the Sensitive Santa experience does is it creates an atmosphere where the parents can also feel that this is somewhere we can bring our child, where if he does lose it, if he does, have a tantrum or he does completely melt down, the people there will understand and they'll give us the time. Whereas in a more public environment, I'm sure you'll get this story from many other parents, you'll get the look that you're a bad parent, control your child, get your act together. That's the look we get, and we get it a lot. And this is an environment where we won't feel fearful about challenging our child because we know the people there will understand. And I think that is also really important because in the end, a very young child really doesn't make the decisions about where they go. It's also about the parent as well. And you create an atmosphere that's just fantastic for the parents where they can feel comfortable and they can feel safe.
Just the joy of doing it. I wouldn't miss it. I absolutely wouldn't miss it. I love doing every day I've done of it. And we'll keep doing it in the future. Absolutely.
I really enjoy seeing children come back year after year, and initially the first year they might have been really shy, and then they come back second year, third year, and they know what to expect, and you see a lot more of their personality come out, and I'm sure parents have quite a range of photos looking back from the first one to the current ones, just to see how their children are more relaxed and how much they're enjoying it, and it's really great to see all that.
Yeah, see the growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was particularly taken with the program because I've got 2 children on the autism spectrum myself, so I'm quite passionate about programs for children on the spectrum, and this just fits so well with me and who I am, and the difference the library can make in the context of ASD and Sensitive Santa as well. So certainly last year the experience and the feedback was just absolutely wonderful. My elves, Beryl and Helen, put so much work and time into the program and really made a difference. And we debriefed after the experience, and the difference it made in their lives, their personal lives, was beautiful as well. It's just one of those programs that makes you feel really wonderful.
This program, its impact on me has just been, it's amazing. It is something I now look forward to throughout the whole year working here. It's a privilege and honour to be able to do this. I just love it. It's the highlight of my year for both professionally and personally. It's just amazing seeing the magic that occurs in there. It really is magic. Like they say, Christmas and Santa brings magic, and that's what he does.
This has been the most amazing and magical project I've ever worked on. Working in a partnership across the 3 councils with 2 other beautiful, incredibly talented women has been amazing, and just the spirit and the nature of everybody involved in this program it just warms your heart. But at the end of the day, it's about providing an opportunity for families that they would never otherwise experience.
This program not only has an effect for individuals and families and volunteers and staff, we were really conscious at the start about using this program as well as an opportunity to increase public awareness really around autism spectrum disorder, because we knew it would get a lot of media. It's such a beautiful project, and the fact that we've got so many partners involved meant that we really had different opportunities to really use the project as a message, and I think we've done that really well, and I think it continues to do that, not just through the media but through the social media, and then families talking to other families. I still get messages and emails from, I had a child psychologist email me last year about one of his children that had been to the program and the benefits that the child had spoken to him, so it has a really an effect that ripples.